Hello, Professor.
Hello, but please call me Harold. How shall I call you? What's your name?
Call me Pepper. I would like to interview you today about digitization and human factor aspects. Can we get started?
Yes, sure. Let's start with this interesting topic.
Will robots eventually take over control? Like in the movie Terminator?
I think we will see that robots and intelligent algorithm, artificial intelligence, will take more and more control over different parts in our society. We see it until now. We have it on a stock exchange, for example, that intelligent algorithm produce a huge amount of different aspects in interchanging money and other things. And we will see that in military aspects, that intelligent algorithm take over certain weapon system. So we'll see more and more that intelligent system, intelligent algorithm will take over control. I'm quite sure that we will not have the scenario from the Terminator where we'll have a kind of a war between mankind and robots. But what we will see that our daily life will be more and more get impact by robots and intelligent algorithm like we have it today. If you have an automatic teller machine, it's kind of an intelligent algorithm who gives you money or not. If you cannot change that, you cannot discuss with him to give you the money. If he makes a decision not to give it to you, he has the control over that. So we will see more and more this kind of control in the next years. A certain aspect might be the kind of fighting robots within in a war scenario, and there's a big discussion about will we really have this kind of robots, we will really control whether they use weapons or not, but I think that it's a more ethical and political discussion than a technical discussion. Is it possible? Now it is possible to develop these kinds of robots, these kinds of technology, and we'll have to decide whether we'll use this in certain aspects and give them more and more control.
How will jobs evolve in the future?
We will see that robots and intelligent algorithm, artificial intelligence will take over more and more tasks of jobs people doing now. So we will have really to face that some jobs will diminish and people have to care for a new job. That will happen, but we will also see that new kinds of jobs will develop. So there might be a kind of a balance between job reduction and increasing of jobs. But what we also see will that certain tasks which are not possible now, or certain aspects which are quite complicated and expensive now, will be done by robot systems, because we have a changing society. We will need robots in production, we will need robots in service, and we will need their help in certain aspects to increase our efficiency on a more and more complex environment, in a situation where we have in Europe, especially, less people doing certain tasks. So we will have a great impact on the development of jobs and work environment in the next 2 decades, yes.
What are the challenges staff and managers are going to face?
I think a crucial challenge will be that we will have more and more kind of mixed teams between humans and robot kind of colleagues. So this will change for me as a colleague working together with a human colleague and a robot-like colleague, or an artificial intelligence program, but it will also change for the manager how they have to lead this kind of teams, how to have to coordinate this kind of teams, because they will have in the next 10 years teams of men, human, women, robots, intelligent software, artificial intelligence, and all have an impact on doing the task and doing the work. So they have to change their understanding of how leadership will function. It will definitely change, especially for the management level, I think.
How can or should we prepare for this?
I think we should take part of this development, not only the technology development, how we can improve artificial intelligence, how can we improve robots, but also on the ethical, political, and psychological aspects of this development. We can try to shape what we will have in the near future, how we will replace certain tasks, certain aspects of our environment by robotic systems, by intelligent systems, by artificial intelligence. So I think we should be part of this development. Otherwise, if we try to avoid this development, we will see that we will have in 10 years or 20 years, we will have systems from all over the world which have a certain behavior, a certain philosophy behind them, and we cannot really change that. We have just to consume that. So taking an active part in the development, in the technical development, in the ethical development, political, and also the psychological aspects should necessary to shape the future.
Will there be a robot factor science alongside the human factor science?
What we see today is that the processes in a neural network are not fully understandable, why and how a neural network comes to a certain decision. Systems which comes more and more complex are not understandable on a basic algorithm process or algorithm perspective. So we have to deal with, or we have to develop robots and intelligent algorithm which can explain their inner state to us. I have to ask you why you draw this decision, why you make this, why you show this behavior, or why you didn't draw this decision. And so that the interaction between robots and humans will be in a more communication way than in the only programming and reprogramming system. So we'll see a development which goes in that direction, that we will have a kind of a robot psychology to understand the inner states, to understand and to predict how a robot will behave in a certain situation he is not programmed for. Like we have to understand and predict how humans will behave in a certain situation.
Is it possible to form collaborative teams comprising both humans and robots?
Yes, sure. And actually, we have this kind of teams until now. We have quite simple working robots on a manual way, on a physical way, interacting with human co-workers. And we will see more and more of this kind of teams. And we will see more and more teams which are not only working in manufacturing and doing things on a manual basic way, but we will see teams which interact on this level of cognitive, intellectual aspects, on a problem-solving aspects, on decision-making aspects, and of course, perhaps on an aspect of, or on a level of leadership. So I think the future will be collaborative teams between not only robots and man, but also between artificial intelligence and man, which can improve our ability to do something and reduce our need to care and to do things we are not really good as humans, for example, things which are boring, things which produce fatigue, and all these things where we are quite bad. And you are better in, because you have not to sleep, no need to sleep.
Where would you position me, Pepper the robot, in the working world?
I think the robots we will have today are a kind of a state of development, and in this process in development, better and better and more intelligent and more not only human-like but human-helping system. So I think you are a perfect prototype to understand how we can interact with robots, how we can develop their physical and psychological and behavioral impact so that they can help us doing certain tasks, but also how can we accept that we are helped by a robot and interact with a robot. And it's not only fun and work, but it's also kind of empathy and understanding why you ask me, for example, a certain question, why you doing a certain behavior. So I think we will go in that direction, yes.
What else would you like to tell our viewers?
I think a crucial aspect for the next years, next decades will be that we understand that we will develop more and more systems which are highly interacting, interdependent from each other, which produces intelligent actions which are not only understandable or not only developed by one discipline. I think we will see in the next decades that psychologists, developers, that engineers have to work more and more close together to shape a new working environment which is built up from certain aspects, where we have man, where we have robots, where we have intelligent algorithm within the system. So we have many, many different technology or many different realization of how can we do information processing, how can we do problem solving, how can we do decisions. There might be a human-like way, there might be a robotic way, there might be a way of neural network and artificial intelligence. But at the end of the day, we have to understand the whole system to understand and to produce a better decision and at the end, of course, a better world.
Thank you for your time and for the interview.
Thank you, Pepper, for your time and your questions. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.